What if I told you the animal best adapted to desert life is now struggling to survive in the very environment it was built for? Picture a creature so perfectly designed for harsh landscapes that it can go weeks without water, survive temperatures from freezing to scorching, and walk across shifting sands that would swallow most animals whole. The Bactrian camel has been the desert's ultimate ship for thousands of years, a living symbol of endurance in places where little else survives. But something strange is happening across the Gobi and Central Asia's other great deserts. The camels are vanishing, not from hunting, not from disease, but from the deserts themselves turning against them. Because the very ground beneath their feet is changing in ways even they can't adapt to. Let's start with what makes this camel so remarkable. Unlike its single-humped Arabian cousin, the Bactrian camel thrives in cold deserts, places where temperatures can swing 60 degrees in a single day. Their thick coats protect them from bitter winds. Their double humps store fat, not water, allowing them to travel vast distances between oases. For centuries, they've been more than just animals to the nomadic peoples of the region. They've been partners, transport, and sometimes the difference between life and death in an unforgiving landscape. But over the last 50 years, something shifted. Deserts didn't just stay deserts. They started expanding, drying out, and becoming even more extreme. And the Bactrian camel, an icon of survival, began to struggle. This is the story of how desertification, the process of fertile land turning into desert, is quietly reshaping the fate of one of Earth's hardiest creatures. And it's a story that reveals a troubling truth. When the desert itself becomes too harsh for the camel, what hope is left for the rest of us? To understand why this is happening, you need to see the desert through the camel's eyes. A healthy desert isn't just sand, it's a delicate mosaic of microhabitats. Patches of hardy shrubs, scattered water holes, salty plains where special plants grow. Bactrian camels don't just wander aimlessly, they follow ancient routes passed down through generations, moving from one known resource to the next. Their survival depends on knowing where to find food, water, and shelter across hundreds of miles, but desertification shatters that knowledge. It doesn't just make the desert bigger, it makes it unfamiliar. Water holes that have existed for centuries dry up. Plants that once provided nourishment die off and don't return. The wind carries away topsoil, leaving behind barren ground where nothing grows. For the camel, it's like watching the map of their world slowly erase itself. And that's only the beginning. Because as the vegetation disappears, so does the camel's food. They're not picky eaters. They'll consume thorny bushes, salty plants, even dry grasses most animals would ignore. But when the land degrades past a certain point, there's simply nothing left. Researchers have tracked camels traveling farther and farther between meals, burning more energy than they take in. Mothers produce less milk. Calves are born weaker. The great endurance of the Bactrian camel is being tested like never before. Then there's the water. A camel can survive without drinking for weeks, but they do need to drink eventually. Desertification doesn't just reduce rainfall, it changes where the water goes. When the soil is healthy, it acts like a sponge, absorbing rain and releasing it slowly into springs and shallow wells. But when the land is degraded, rainwater runs off quickly, causing flash floods instead of replenishing groundwater. The camels arrive at familiar watering holes only to find them dry. Their legendary ability to go without water is now being pushed to its absolute limit, but perhaps the most heartbreaking impact is on their social structure. Bactrian camels are not solitary animals. They live in herds led by experienced females who remember the old routes, where to find food in a drought, where to shelter from a sandstorm. But when the landscape changes too rapidly, that knowledge becomes useless. Younger camels never learn the routes because the routes no longer exist. Herds fragment. Some animals wander into human settlements out of desperation, where they face new dangers like traffic and fences. Others simply disappear into the expanding emptiness. And it's not just the wild Bactrian camels that are suffering, the domestic ones are too. For nomadic herders, camels are a lifeline. They provide wool, milk, and transportation. But as the grasslands shrink, herders are forced to reduce their herds or abandon camel husbandry altogether. In some regions, families that have kept camels for generations are now switching to goats or moving to cities. The cultural bond between people and camels, one of the oldest partnerships in human history, is fraying under the pressure of a changing climate. So what happens now? Is this the end of the line for the two-humped camel? Not necessarily. Because in the face of this crisis, something remarkable is taking shape, a growing effort to protect both the camel and the desert it calls home. Conservation groups are working with local communities to restore degraded land. Simple techniques like planting drought-resistant shrubs and building small barriers to capture rainwater are already showing promise. In Mongolia and China, protected areas are being expanded to give wild camels safe corridors to migrate. Scientists are even studying the camel's incredible biology, from their unique blood cells to their ability to drink salty water, for clues that could help other species survive in a warming world. The story of the Bactrian camel and desertification is more than a wildlife crisis. It's a warning. If an animal this resilient is struggling, it means the deserts are becoming something new, something even more extreme, more unpredictable, and more hostile to life. But it's also a story of resilience. The same camel that carried traders along the Silk Road, that survived ice ages and empires, is now teaching us about the true cost of a changing planet. And in learning how to save it, we may just learn how to save ourselves. Have you ever witnessed an animal adapting to an extreme environment? Share your story in the comments. And if you want more tales of nature's most resilient survivors, subscribe to Rare Species.